Welcome to Thursday Night Football with Calvin Dean, sponsored by the NFL Network. Wow, we got week 11 upon us, people. Wow, man, last week. I don't know about these teams. You know, I lost my first lock in 10 weeks. I'm now 9-1. And, yeah, it's on me. It's on me. That was on me. That's for sure. Rams. It was the Rams. And I'm telling you something. The Rams, you can have all the amazing superstars on your team. You can just gather them up, right? And just put them on your team. That doesn't mean that team is actually going to win. And doesn't guarantee that team is going to win. I mean, the Rams' defense has been always a stout defense, Aaron Donald, and, Ramsey, and, can go on, with that team. And then, then you have the offense now, mind you. You have to think about something. Mr. Woods, who is out for the season, Robert Woods, for the Los Angeles Rams, the wideout, he's out for the season with torn ACL. So it's a tough one to actually put someone in that role and do what he did, because he did so much for the Los Angeles Rams. And you just can't put Odell Beckham in there and expect him to just take over and what Woods was doing, or even make the team somewhat better. But, it's just not that. I mean, you have this amazing quarterback. I mean, Matthew Stafford. I've been a fan of his for, years, since he's been in the NFL. And I'm so happy he got this opportunity to play for a winning organization. And yes, they are winning. It's not that they're, under 500 or anything like that. It's just that, you have to look at things and think about it. That Los Angeles Rams offensive line. I mean, the Rams offense it's built on run first, pass. So if you're running and you're doing pretty well doing it, then the play action pass for the Rams, that's what kills teams, and the way they've been running and the play action, teams go, yeah, right, they're gonna you're running, sure you're running, you know what I mean? So you have to realize that. And I misfired on one thing. I looked at I forgot about the history of the San Francisco 49ers, Nicky's Niners. And, when has it been that the Rams have won? I mean, it's the last 5 times now. I mean, that the Rams have lost to the Niners. So little Nicky up in San Fran, she's going to be happy, that's for sure, So, that is what happened last week. It was just like one team after another. It was just all these teams that should have won, lost, I mean, it's the Eagles. The Eagles winning. That was something that was unexpected. And, how about the Miami Dolphins? And with the Baltimore Colts. Come on. I mean, Baltimore Ravens, excuse me. It used to be the Baltimore Colts, guys. In Indianapolis Colts, they moved in the middle of the night and to Indianapolis. Anyway. That sucked for the Baltimore team, didn't it? And then they got the Ravens, and now everything's amazing other than last week. I mean, they couldn't stop the Miami Dolphins defensive rush. I mean, they were sending everyone. And I guess Mr. Harbaugh, after the game, he blamed the game on the coaches, and that was they should. Even the announcers were saying, "Well, why don't they have some guys go in the middle? What's going on? Like some crosses with the wideouts because they're leaving the middle wide open." And I don't get that, and they blitzed like 65% of the time, or it was something really outrageously high. So why didn't the offensive coordinator look at that and figure it out, especially at halftime? They were doing it in the beginning. It was not like they weren't doing it in the beginning of the game. They were doing it in the beginning of the game against Baltimore Ravens, and it was brilliant defense by the Miami Dolphins. I mean, that was hats off to them. Wow. They just put the Baltimore Ravens offensive line on their backs and just made, Lamar Jackson look terrible. I mean, it wasn't Lamar's fault. It really wasn't. It was the offensive coordinator. I mean, let's get some crosses. Let's get if they would have been hurt and if they would have recognized that what they were doing in the first place, maybe by the first quarter, then you would start calling some plays, wouldn't you? I mean, I did not get. They were just headstrong. This is what they're going to do. We don't care. We're going to do this, and we're going to win. But what happened? No, you didn't win. And and then Brady coming down to earth. How about Washington beating up on the Tampa Bay Bucks? Wow. I mean, that was just, you did have that one interception that went off the player, but they had that one horrible interception by Brady. Just threw it, and there was I don't think there was a receiver from Tampa Bay around where he threw it. I think they were maybe like 10, 15 yards away. It was just a horrible pass. I've never seen that. It was a first. You always have a first. But trust me, Tom Brady's not going anywhere. He's still going to be Tom Brady, He just will be, and don't count the Bucs out at all. So tonight's game is the Thursday night football game. It's week 11. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the NFL as well. Baker Mayfield, he's not going to be playing this Sunday. And I can tell you why. They haven't really ruled it out. But I just listened to an interview he did on ESPN, and he was just talking about how much, he's hurt, all his aches and pains, and he's really painful, and to maybe play, he's not at 100%. He actually admitted, Baker Mayfield admitted this. Now, he wasn't doing this last week, with his collarbone and all that stuff going on. But, what happens is when you get the collarbone on his non-throwing arm, when you hurt that, then what happens is then your whole body has to compensate, because you really can't use that mobility of balance, proper balance. When you throw the ball with your left arm, especially your shoulder, is hurt. You just can't. So you have to improvise. And then when you improvise, then you can get hurt. Other things hurt because you start throwing the ball like you usually don't throw the ball just to compensate, and then you strain other parts of your body, and then if you get hit when you're doing that, it's bad. It's bad. So I believe they haven't ruled it out, but he will be out this Sunday. And Case Keenum, he's a good quarterback. I mean, he is really a good quarterback. So they're blessed to have Case Keenum as their backup. That's for sure. And Baker's in his 5th year. His 5th year contract. He's it's upon him right after this year, and his fifth year option. Excuse me. And usually they start doing that like after the people's been in 3-4 years. They start talking about that, and Baker is they're questioning, and they haven't even begun to talk about it. Now think about that. What about Mahomes? They surely talked about it, didn't they? And the other great quarterbacks, like Mr. Wilson and Mr. Aaron Rodgers and all that good stuff, and But anyway, let's look at tonight's game, people. Thursday night football game, and let's go to the New England Patriots. Wow, they're going into the Atlanta Falcons Stadium. It's a great stadium. If you've ever been that stadium is just an amazing stadium. Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, and that is just one of the finest stadiums. That is actually that stadium. And I think it was the Cowboys, but that stadium was like the real state-of-the-art type of thing. Gorgeous, inside and outside of that stadium in Atlanta that was the beginning of all the big, beautiful stadiums. And Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta is just gorgeous, guys. It's just gorgeous. And it's hard to talk about the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, 1 week you say, they're going to win, and then the next week, and then they lose, and then you say, they're going to lose, and then they win. The NFL is kind of like that right now. It just really is, and there's a reason for it. I mean, like an example, the Jacksonville Jags have a heck of a lot of young talent. Now, to think about it, these guys are, real young. They just got out of college young, They don't have many, veterans on that team, not many. And the majority of them are, young. So you just don't make it in the NFL if you're not talented. You just don't. You don't make it into, Division I football unless you're talented. That's why there's Division II, Division III, Division IV, and football in college. You just don't make, and the majority of all these guys in the NFL are Division I. There are some Division II and III schools that, guys who, just started playing for a Division III school and, they were superstars, and they come in the NFL and they become a superstar. But, what I'm getting at is that, all these guys on the Jacksonville Jags, they do have talent. They do have a lot of talent, and it's potential. And, sometimes when these teams have a lot of talent, they don't know how to put it together and become a team. This is new to them. Not the NFL is new to them, the traveling, it's a lot of glitz and glam type of thing, So what you have to realize is that these, a lot of these guys are coming from like Ohio State. Have you ever been to Ohio State? Where they play, the Ohio State University. Now that's country, guys. And there's a lot of teams, like even Michigan University, in Ann Arbor. And that's not Detroit. That's not Super City in Detroit. That's Ann Arbor. It's well away. I think Ann Arbor is around, I think maybe 100 miles away from Detroit. So, when you have to realize about, these schools and, they become superstars, and they go travel from, university to university, but a lot of these universities are in Timbuktu. They're in the country, many of them. There are some that are city, like Los Angeles, UCLA, and USC. They're in cities. But, there's some universities that are in the sticks. They're gorgeous, too. Really gorgeous. Especially, Ohio State's gorgeous university, Ann Arbor, Michigan, the Wolverines. Whoa. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, I have a lot of good stuff with childhood. I went to see the Michigan Wolverines play the Minnesota, I believe Golden Gophers or something like that. And anyway, it was the little brown jug, and they won. And I saw Anthony Carter catch a touchdown. It was great. It was great. What a great game that was. And anyway, let's get on to Thursday night football. We started talking, and we went from let's just talk about who's going to win and who's going to lose. How about that? And the next thing we need to talk about, it would be the New England Patriots. They are just wow. Their offense have gotten so much better. They're 10th in the NFL, and their defense is getting a little bit better. They're 15th. They're 9th in passing. Wow, top 10 in passing. Wow, that's the New England Patriots. Now, that's without Tom Brady. So, man, Mac Jones, how about that pickup? Another great school, Alabama. Anyway, and their rushing attack is number 10. That's pretty good, having a 10 and 9. And, then you look at the Atlanta Falcons, and that's the thing with the Atlanta Falcons. Sometimes, they're 27th in offense, right? They're 18th in defense, 19th in passing, and 29th in rushing. So obviously their rushing attack is just, there's nowhere to be found, So then Matty Ice is trying to, pick up and bring that team to another level, which they should be. But that's my thing about Atlanta. They'll show up one day, and then they won't show up one day. And it's like, it's so maddening, you can't support them. If you're picking a game, it's hard to support them. It's really hard. At times I've called them a couple times this year to win, and they won. But, they're so hard. They're such a hard team to call. They're 4-5, and the New England Patriots suddenly are 6-4. Hurrah for the New England Patriots. They really look good lately. Really look good. Now, this is in Atlanta. It's in a dome stadium on AstroTurf. A lot different what New England's used to. They're used to the outdoors, cold weather, and then plus it's going to be probably, I don't know if the humidity level inside the dome, they probably keep it very low. So it's beautiful dome. So, but I just don't see the Patriots, stepping off the gas. Their offensive line has just been run blocking phenomenally. Stevenson, oh my God, that guy looks like a beast. And then, I was so impressed by him last week. Very impressed with Mac Jones. How can you be not impressed with him? He's precise. He's like a machine out there. That's what he looks like. He's throwing balls like Tom Brady would throw balls, where they should be. Even if a guy's covered, he'll throw a ball where he knows that guy's not going to be covered. And then the receivers know that. And that's the whole thing where I was talking about the Los Angeles Rams and their offense not gelling, that, all those superstars not gelling as a team. But then you have the New England Patriots, who, mind you, spent over $165 million in free agency market this year. They are going all out. And man, has Hunter Henry looked good lately. Oh my God. The catches he has made. I mean, he is great. He is so underrated. He is one of the most underrated tight ends in the National Football League, because I just don't hear people talking about him. They should be talking about Hunter Henry. They should really be talking about him. And, I just don't see the Falcons, even if the Falcons woke up in this game, it would be a close game, but the New England Patriots would win. So I'm going to give this first game of Week 11 to the New England Patriots to win Thursday Night Football. All right. Let's get on with all the other games we need to talk about. I went over players too. There was a big top 10 power rankings of all the quarterbacks and everyone like that. So I kind of wanted to go over that. I don't know if I think it's important. I really think it's important. And I really believe that it means something. And, I really think that, to have, the rankings of the quarterbacks at this moment in time is a very, 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 important thing to have. Because if you don't, then, it helps you pick teams and pick winners, and if you're not paying attention to that, like where Mr. Mahomes is ranked, this is power rankings. This is stats and everything, and I was very surprised that he was in the top. He wasn't in the top 5. No, he wasn't. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was not in the top 5 in the power rankings for the quarterbacks. So it's definitely a eye-opening experience, and even Mr. Allen, Josh Allen from the Bills, he was I believe he was on number 8, and but Lamar Jackson, Lamar Jackson was, I believe, he was 3rd, and Tom Brady was 2nd, and let's just go over it. Of course, the number 1 pick is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott in the top. This is the top 10 in the NFL at this moment in time, and he's had 8 games, a total of 8 games. His throwing percentage is 70.3, 2,300 yards, 8.2 yards per attempt, and then 20 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 91 yards rushing, and 1 TD rushing, 6 fumbles. So, he's turned the ball over 11 times. That's a problem. And then you have the infamous Tom Brady. He's number 2. And he has 9 games, 67.4% in passer rating, 2,870 yards, 27 touchdowns passing, 7 interceptions, 41 rushing, and 1 rushing touchdown, 3 fumbles. That's a total of 11 turnovers. And but he has 27 passing touchdowns. 27. He leads the league in that. But they're giving it to Dak because Dak has the least, he has higher percentage in passing. Excuse me. Now, the next person would be Lamar Jackson. Like I said, it was number 3. And Lamar, 2,400 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 639 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns in rushing. That's a total of 16 touchdowns and 5 fumbles. So he's hurting. He's had 13. And that has a lot to do with his offensive line. We talked about that. And Derek Carr is number 4. And he has got 2,800 yards passing, 15 touchdowns passing, and then 8 interceptions, 6 fumbles. That's 14. See, when you keep going down and down, and you look at all the mistakes. And Josh Allen's number 5 with 2,600 yards passing, 19 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 5 fumbles. And then you have Matthew Stafford at 3,000 yards passing. 3,000 already, Matthew Stafford, after 10 games. 24 passing touchdowns, almost right there with Tom Brady. 8 interceptions and 1 fumble. 1 fumble, that's pretty good. Only 1 fumble, that's really good. So, I mean, he looks pretty good. Then you have 7 would be Aaron Rodgers at 2,100 passing yards and 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 1 fumble. Very good. I mean, but his passing percentage is 66. You know, he's stepping it up. And Justin Herbert was number 8, 2,500 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 1 fumble. And then Patrick Mahomes, number 9 out of the top 10. Patrick Mahomes, number 9. I mean, really? 2,900 yards passing, 25 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 5 fumbles. There you go. 15 turnovers. And his passing percentage is 65. So that's the reason why. And then last but not least, it would be Mr. Kirk Cousins. 2,400 yards passing, 18 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 73 yards rushing, 1 rushing touchdown, and 5 fumbles. So, I mean, actually, Kirk Cousins, if you really think about it, he's at 68% passing. And everyone busts on Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins. He's a professional NFL quarterback starting in the NFL. And literally, the first 9 games, he has 2,434 yards in passing. Right? Now, but the 18 touchdowns. 18. But this is the next stat that just blows my mind about Kirk Cousins. 2 interceptions. There's not one person under him in the top 10 that only has 2 interceptions. That's pretty good. That's really good. He only has 2 interceptions, 5 fumbles, okay, but that's a total of 7 turnovers. There's not one quarterback in the top 10 with that less of turnovers. The next one would be Mr. Justin Herbert, at 7 interceptions and only 1 fumble. So he has a total of 8 times he's turned it over. But all the others are, Aaron Rodgers is at 5. That's pretty good. That's why he's number 7. But I noticed the other, like the Rams, 9. Then you have Josh Allen, 11. And you have Derek Carr, number 4. He's at 14 turnovers. Lamar Jackson's at 13 turnovers. Tom Brady, 10 turnovers. And then Dak Prescott, 11. So, but they're ranked higher because they have more yards and more wins and all that good stuff. Anyway, important stuff to look at, guys. Important stuff. That's the top 10. Okay? So let's just go to Thursday Night Football right now and look at tonight's game. Tonight's game's a great game. I already boasted about how great New England is and how, unfortunately, the Atlanta Falcons are. And they have so much talent. And sometimes when they put on all that talent, they seem unbeatable, or they'll be winning, and then they just let people back in. So I'm giving this one to the New England Patriots. I think Bill Belichick will take Cordell Patterson out of the game, and their running attack for the Atlanta Falcons is null. It's just not. If they can take Cordell Patterson out of the game, and probably Pitts, they'll probably either take either or out of the game, and Belichick's like that. I mean, when he sees a team like Atlanta that does have flaws, but they actually have great talent as well, Bill will definitely go for the juggler. So tonight's game, giving it to the Patriots, New England Patriots, and last time they met was in 2017, and New England beat them 23-7. So it's been a while, but New England's just too good right now. The next game is the 5-4 Saints against the 4-6 Philadelphia Eagles. Wow. Philly is, they have so much talent, raw talent, but they're like Jacksonville, Miami, all the younger teams, and they act like it. And so it's in Philadelphia. The Saints are coming to town. Saints need to win because they need to keep up with the Joneses in their division. So I'm definitely going to give this game, well, it's not a definite. I mean, of course, when I tell you who's going to win, that's who I thought was going to win. And the Philadelphia Eagles offense are number 11. And the Saints, that's why the Saints are, their record 5-4 because their offense is number 28, but their defense is number 5. So, Jalen Hurts is really, he's hard to defend. He's really hard to defend. Think that. I think everyone agrees on that one, And then you have the passing attack for the Saints is number 31st. They're almost last in passing. Well, welcome to the non-Drew Brees era. The Saints were blessed with the talents of Drew Brees for so many years, and he's gone, and this is what happens to a team when a quarterback like that leaves. They have a lot of great talent. But that key talent that was so amazing for so many years is gone. Not just his talent alone, his leadership, the way he ran that team, and he took over that team. That was his team. He would light everyone up. He was such a great player, great person, great player, and they truly miss him, and they're showing it. Their defense isn't showing it, but their offense is. And then their rushing attack is 17th. So, I mean, now Alvin Kamara comes back this week. That makes them even dangerous. I mean, more dangerous than you could even imagine, because the Philadelphia Eagles defense is 26th. I mean, their rushing attack for the Eagles is second, and that's from Jalen Hurts. So what do you think the New Orleans Saints are going to do? Come on. You're talking about one of the greatest coaches, defensive minds in the NFL. Wow. He's going to take that running game right out of the system. And the New Orleans Saints coming into Philadelphia, they're going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in this game. And we'll go to the next game, and I really believe that definitely with Kamara coming back, and that's the reason why I'm even picking them, is because Kamara will be back. The next game, it would be the the Miami Dolphins 3-7, the New York Jets 2-7. I was figuring that at the beginning of the year, these teams would be, maybe to have 2 or 3 wins. I'm not a Tua believer. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I haven't seen enough of him just to give him props. Not yet. Hopefully they'll stay with him and for at least another year. But I mean, their record 3-7. Ugh. So, I mean, the record and everything look at their defenses last. Miami Dolphins defense. And the Miami Dolphins defense, the last defense, just killed the offensive line of the Baltimore Ravens. We were talking about that. Shameful. Should have never happened, guys. Should have never happened. Offensive coordinator blunder. Anyway, we have, the defense of the Jets is 31st. So they have the 2 worst defenses in the NFL. Wow. And then, the offense isn't that good either. 22nd, 24th. The passing offense on the Miami Dolphins, 16th, 13th to the Jets. Well, White's not going to be playing. You're going to have Flacco. He lost it years ago. Sorry. But he did. And they're going to be starting him. I mean, what does that tell the team? Here's White. White, you're going to have a bad game. You're going to have a bad game. I mean, the kid goes in there, plays lights out the next game, right? And, and then last week it just was terrible. But, sometimes you just have one of those games and you're young. You're very young quarterback. And I would have kept with White. I think there's a reason why all these teams like the New York Jets, the Detroit Lions, all these teams that just are perennial, they just lose. There's got to be something there. Don't you agree? I mean, think about that, guys. I mean, it's amazing how these teams year in and year out lose. And what is going wrong with these organizations? It's not the player, it's the whole entire organizations. I mean, they've gone awry, and it's just, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. You have all this knowledge in football, and you guys are still losing, and they just can't help losing. The Jets are just, like I said, the Jets and the Detroit Lions, 2 embarrassments. I feel so sorry for all the fans. You gotta think, you go into, let's say you're a Jet fan, right? And tonight, on Sunday, they're going to play at home at MetLife Stadium, right? Well, you're season ticket holders and you're just loving the Jets and you go, all right, Wilson, he got hurt. White, wow, White looks great. He has one bad game. Well, how many games did Wilson have bad? It was a few, but they kept him in. Wouldn't you do the same with White? I would. But what does this tell the Jets players when they put Flacco in? Take out White, put in Flacco. Because why? Because we don't have confidence in you. That's what he's saying. That's what they're saying. So what does that do to the psyche of this kid who played out of his mind a game and a half out of his mind until he got hurt, right? Second game. He came right down the field, drove right down the field. It was the first drive, and he got a touchdown, and he got hurt after that. So, you got to think about that one, and that's, you got to wonder. And, I'm picking Miami over this one because there's no way that they're going to win with Flacco. Sorry, but they aren't. So the next game we have the Washington football team off their surprising victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, going into the Carolina Panthers, who I predicted to win last week, which they did. And I just knew it. I knew Cam Newton, they'd go into Arizona and they beat him. I just knew that. I'm a big Cam Newton supporter. I love Cam. He's so excited. And now, he's, the way he played, all Cam needs is some confidence when he comes back like this. Wow, watch it, guys. If Cam Newton gets confidence and all that talent, that raw talent comes out, McCaffrey, that defense. Did you know that the defense of the Carolina Panthers is 2? It's second. And the Washington football team's 22nd. We have the offense is 20th of the Carolina Panthers and 21st for Washington. So they're kind of tied there. Passing, they're almost tied, 24, 26. 26 is the Panthers. Of course, that's all on Sam Donald, which is hurt. He's hurt for the remaining of the season. He's hurt. That's why Cam Newton is in. And then the rushing attack for the Washington football teams, it's almost at average, a little under average. Average is, 15? If you're in top 15, you're doing okay, I guess. No, you got to be in the top 10 or at least for everything. All the teams, when you see them, and they have winning, they have winning, their wins and losses are outstanding. Wins will bring you a team will have third and sixth and then they're ninth and stuff like that. And now I look at the Carolina Panthers here and I'm seeing their passing is 26th and the Washington football team's 24th, and then you have the 19th rushing for the Washington football team, but then you have number 9 for the Carolina Panthers. So they without Mr. McCaffrey, he's just got back. So you got to figure when he's back and he starts going, this team, Cam Newton, I see this team, going to the playoffs if they keep this up. I really do. I think the Carolina Panthers will be a surprise of the NFL, and they're going to win this game at home. Carolina Panthers over the Washington football team. We have the Colts. This is a really tough game. We have the Colts on a winning streak right now, and they're playing in Buffalo and Highmark Stadium. And if you look at the Buffalo Bills and these two teams are, one's 5-5, one's 6-3. Buffalo hasn't been playing good lately. They just haven't. but the rankings are just amazing. I mean, you have the Colts are 8th in the NFL, and then you have the Buffalo Bills at 9th. That's an offense, okay? And then defense-wise, you have the 28th ranked defense for the Indianapolis Colts, which is not that good. And then you have the first ranked number 1 defense in the NFL is the Buffalo Bills. One more time. The Buffalo Bills are ranked number 1 in defense in the NFL. Okay, so, wow. And, they show it. Their offense needs to be, to step up, but their offense is ranked 9th. Their passing is 6th, Josh Allen. And, Wentz is 17th, his passing. Then the rushing attack, that's where it's at with the Indianapolis Colts. They're 4th. And their rushing attack for the Bills are 14th. And that's all Josh Allen. So, the Bills really have to step up and, win this game. I think it's all in the Bills this way. But, the Indianapolis Colts, they're on a winning streak. They looked really hot lately. Their offense looks good. I think they're going to go into Highmark Stadium. It used to be Rich Stadium. And they're going to beat the Buffalo Bills. That's the upset, is the Indianapolis Colts beating the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. I have the 0-1-8 Detroit Lions going into Cleveland Browns. Detroit played one heck of a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They tied them. What a great game. Defense, wow. Now, I am under the understanding that Mr. Jared Goff is possibly won't be playing. So that's bad for the Detroit Lions. I don't think there's really a good replacement on their team right now for Mr. Jared Goff, even though he hasn't really been playing that well. But look at the team that he's playing with. There's that's another thing. Like I said, if you're in the NFL, you're talented. So what's going on here? That's what I'm asking. What's going on with the Detroit Lions? I feel so sorry for their fans. A lot of my family members are still diehard Lion fans. God bless them. And their offense is 29th, and the Cleveland Browns is 7th. Baker Mayfield won't be playing. Case Keenum will be in the helm. He's good enough. I just can't give this one to the Detroit Lions without Jared Goff. I just can't. They're going to be going into Cleveland's defense. Their rushing attack for the Cleveland Browns. I don't. The defense is 23rd for the Detroit Lions, and the rushing offense for the Cleveland Browns is number 1. Hello, they're passing 23. Defense 11th, and their offense is 7th. So this offense is 7th ranked because of their running game is awesome. The last time these guys met I think it was a couple of years ago. Cleveland just pulled it out, and that's the whole thing. I think it'll be a really close game. I think, Detroit's scrappy. I think they'll keep it really close. But anyway, definitely the Cleveland Browns in this one at home. The next game, Nicky's Niners off the amazing upset of the Los Angeles Rams last week. Nicky's Niners, the 49ers. They're playing the Jacksonville Jags. This is the one reason what's going on with the Niners. It's like a roller coaster ride, and they have all this talent in the world. I don't think anyone can actually I don't know one team that can actually, stop their running game. There's just, wow. But, if it's not going, or I don't know, it's just something about that team. I mean, one game they come out like they're playing off the Lions. I mean, not the Lions, but the Rams. Excuse me. And they kill them, literally destroyed them. And then the week before, they look all weak against the Cardinals, who was without DeAndre Hopkins and without Kyler Murray, and you lose. You lose. I mean, where's the dominance in that you showed against the Rams? I mean, that's the 49ers. They got dominance on one end, and then they're not. I mean, it's amazing. The stats prove it, because they're 18th in rushing. We talked about the Browns. The Browns are number one, right? There you go. And then you have look at the schedule. Look at everything. But look at, the 49ers are 4-5. What are the Browns? The Browns are winning. They have a winning record. Anyway, so they're going into Jacksonville, playing at TIAA Bank Stadium, and I just don't see the Jacksonville Jags winning this game. They've been playing people tough. With Jacksonville, it's so up and down. And, I think the San Francisco 49ers are going to roll still. I think Shanahan's, that's another thing. He has McVay's number. He does have McVay's number. They beat up on the Rams all the time. They just smash mouth football. It's amazing. So, and then, they have, they're just dominant in their third defense. That's dangerous. The way the San Francisco 49ers looked is dangerous. I mean, they took apart a very, very, very good team, and they made them look stupid. Wow. So, I'm definitely going to give this one to the San Francisco 49ers over the Jacksonville Jags. And it's just that now, I mean, their rushing attack for the Jags are 16th, and their rushing attack for the San Francisco 49ers are 18th. This is what I mean. This is why you're 4-5, because you don't come out like you came out against the Rams every game. You need to do that every single game. It's all about coaching. Make your team ready, because you are much better than that. You are playing a Jacksonville Jaguar team, okay, who is 2-7 with a rookie quarterback. And you have a number 3 defense. Get to that quarterback. He's not that agile. He does run. He's very athletic. He's big. He's not going to go down easy. But man, get to him. And you got this game. And I think you will. I think Shanahan's going to just put on the gas. They'll be 5-5 after this game. On the next game, we have the Houston Texans going into the Tennessee Titans. I can't talk about this game. I mean, the Tennessee Titans, they're 8-2, 1-8 for the Texans. I mean, this is the kind of game that's it's a no-brainer. That the Titans will beat the Houston Texans. I don't think there'll be any let up. I think the Titans have a great defense, and their offense is adequate enough now to win a game, an ugly game, but they'll win. We have the next game. We have the Green Bay Packers 8-2 going into the Minnesota Vikings, and this is an interesting game. a very interesting game. The 8-2 Packers against the 4-5 Minnesota Vikings. Cousins is, he's only had 2 interceptions all year. So, wow. And the Green Bay Packers do have a great defense. Don't get me wrong. It's in the dome. They're at home. In the dome at home. I don't know. Minnesota. I just don't like even the looks of this game. I mean, you go to the stats, and you want to go stats wise. You have. I'll just first go to the offense, and then go back to the defense. And the offense of the Green Bay Packers is 16th, and the 13th for the Vikings. 6th defense, ranked 6th, the Green Bay Packers. They are dangerous. They are 8-2. They are 8-2, and they are dangerous. The only thing that this doesn't make them as dangerous, their offense is 16th. Now you're talking about Aaron Rodgers, right? So we're having an off year. Passing is 15th, and the rushing is 15th. But the Vikings' rushing is 13th. The passing is 11th. Their whole offense is better, they're 13th, and the Green Bay Packers is 16th. Their defense is 19th. So it's like, what I look at it is like this is, can the Minnesota Vikings keep up with the Green Bay Packers? I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to win this game. I'm going to give this one as an upset. I'm going to give it to the Minnesota Vikings to beat the Green Bay Packers at home, and they'll end their losing streak. The next game, you have the Baltimore Ravens going into Chicago. I'm playing the Chicago Bears. I think the Baltimore Ravens are pissed off. I would hate to be the next team to play them after they got humiliated by one of the worst defenses in the NFL, Miami Dolphins. I really, that offensive coordinator, he's going to be on his game. And if the Chicago Bears try to do what the Miami Dolphins do, they're going to get beat bad. So the offensive for the Chicago Bears is 31st, but they do have Justin Fields. He does have that terrible, he's shifty. He's a good quarterback. He's not a Lamar Jackson, but he is good, and he's hard to defend. Their defense, on the other hand, Chicago's 7th. And the defense of the Baltimore Ravens is 20th. Passing for the defense for the Baltimore Ravens is 12th. Passing for the Chicago Bears is 32nd. Third in rushing for the Baltimore Ravens, and 8th in rushing for the Chicago Bears. So you got to think, they have Montgomery, they have Justin Fields. That's a running attack. So their passing is 32nd. Wow, that's where it hurts you. If you can stuff, and it's hard to run on a Baltimore defense. That's the whole thing with Baltimore. If they try to run on Baltimore, they're going to lose. So what are they going to do? Try to pass? And they're 32nd? I'm sorry. Baltimore Ravens in this game over the Chicago Bears in Chicago. So, sorry, Chicago Bear fans. The next game, we have the Bengals 5-4 going into Las Vegas Raiders, who just got humiliated against the Kansas City Chiefs. And they just didn't show up. I hate that when a great team like the Raiders, go into, they were 5-3. They could have been 6-3, ahead of their division, and just take over. They had that opportunity, and it's at home, and they're playing against a team that hasn't been doing that well. Their offensive line has been letting people in. The people have been defensing their bombs and their deep threats, the Kansas City Chiefs, but then they just got destroyed, and it was a whole destroying effort. Now, mind you, can the Raiders bounce back? I don't know. I didn't see any heart when they played against the Kansas City Chiefs. I didn't see anything from the Raiders that would suggest me to call the next game for them. I mean, they just looked horrid. And, they're 14th in offense in the NFL. The Bengals are 19th. You got the defense of the Bengals is 14th. The defense of the Raiders is 12th. The passing is 10th for the Bengals and 4th for the Raiders. You have the rushing attack for the Raiders is 28th. Rushing attack for the Bengals are 24th. So, what does that tell you? Those stats. What does that tell you, guys? Well, the passing is 4th for the Raiders and 10th for the Bengals. The rushing is 28th for the Raiders and 24th for the Bengals. So obviously, they don't do well rushing the ball, do they? They haven't, but they do well passing the ball. So then you got to look at defense-wise. The Raiders against the... I'm sorry, I can't call the Raiders in this one. I'm going to call the Bengals beating the Raiders. The Raiders will suffer their next loss, and they'll be 5-5, and the Bengals will go 6-4. All right, next game we have the Cardinals against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. Now, this is the last game before the Arizona Cardinals go on their bye. The 12th week is the Cardinals bye. So, what would you do? You're going in against a 3-6 Seattle Seahawks team, which their defense they're just not good. They looked good the other night, but then, come on. They got shut out. Their offense got shut out. I mean, Green Bay shut their offense down. I mean, in the Seattle Seahawks, their offense is 30th, their defense is 27th, their passing is 30th, and their rushing is 23rd. And then you have the Arizona Cardinals, offense is 4th, defense is 10th, passing is 7th, and rushing is 6th. Wow. That's a big wow. Look at those stats. On paper, I'm looking at this and I'm just shaking my head. I just, with those kind of stats, and they're 8-2, 3-6, they might be without Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. Now that's a problem. I think that it's a much closer game without them. They're at home, Seattle. They're 3-6, Seattle. Russell Wilson needed that one game. And you have Buda Baker against DK Metcalf, and oh man, what a matchup that's going to be. I just don't see the Seahawks having the firepower even to upset the Cardinals. I just don't see it. I'm calling the Arizona Cardinals in this game over the Seattle Seahawks. The next game's a wow game. A wow game. I mean, there's some games that you talk about, and this is one of them. This is a Dallas team that's just wow. Dak Prescott, he's playing out of his mind. Number one in power rankings for a quarterback is Dak Prescott right now. He leads the NFL, and mindly so, 7-2 below. And even the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, they played well last week. You know, they played against a team that didn't show up. I mean, if the Raiders would have shown up, then it would have been a lot better. But they didn't show up. And the Kansas City Chiefs defense actually has been playing better in the last few weeks. They have been, mind you. They really have. You look at the stats. And if the Kansas City Chiefs defense is playing better, right, and their offense is looking pretty smitten, it's going to make it a tougher game for Dallas to win. Now, this could be the Super Bowl, the pre-core. This could really be the pre-core of the Super Bowl, because I want to give you the stats on these teams. That this is like a game made in heaven for fans. Really, it is. This game is literally the game of the week. It really is. This is Calvin Dean's game of the week. All right? The game of the week. You have the Dallas Cowboys offense ranked number 2. The offense for the Kansas City Chiefs ranked number 1. Now, this is where it gets kind of murky. You have the defense for the Dallas Cowboys. In the beginning, when in my telecast, in my podcast here, right? I think it was like the 3rd, 4th, 5th game. I mean, they were ranked like 18th, the Dallas Cowboys. They're 9th now. That's how good they've been getting. And then the Kansas City Chiefs is 30th. Well, like I said, the last 3 games, they've been playing a lot better. But they haven't met the Dallas Cowboys, have they? No, they haven't. So you go to passing, and of course, Pat Mahomes is number 1 passing attack. And the Dallas Cowboys number 5. Power rankings are different than the rankings in the past in the NFL. Okay? Power rankings are different. All right. So the rushing for the Dallas Cowboys is ranked. The Dallas Cowboys are ranked 7th, and the Kansas City Chiefs are 12th. Now that's pretty good, because I know Mahomes runs sometimes, but he's not like a Lamar Jackson where it's part of the offense, you know. So, mind you, the run of the Kansas City Chiefs, that's big, and they have some bruisers now. You know, Williams. I mean, Clyde Hilaire's not in. I understand that, but then they have a few other people who have been real, and then they use the wideouts too, and sweeps, and they do that really well, right? Really, really well, So I mean, they have a really imaginative offensive scheme that Kansas City Chiefs do. So I mean, that's why they're 12th, but then the Dallas Cowboys are 7th, and of course Zeke, Pollard, and that's all Zeke Pollard, number 7. That's not Dak Prescott. Dak's not really running as much. He scrambles, but he doesn't want to run. He just doesn't. Trust me, he doesn't want to run. So, I mean, stats-wise, the only thing that really I'm having a hard time not to look at is the Kansas City Chiefs defense ranked number 30th. I'm just trying not to look at that. I'm trying. It's hard. This is going to be in Arrowhead Stadium. It's loud there. Oh my God. You can't hear yourself think. Mind you. It's going to be a rock'em sock'em game. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys defense can handle the Kansas City Chiefs offense. I don't know. The way the Kansas City Chiefs defense has been playing in the last 3 games. They allowed, I think, only 16 points or something like that per team. I just can't go against Pat Mahomes in this one. Patrick Mahomes looked great last week, and they've been waiting to get where they're at, and I'm just happy. I'm very, very happy that he's finally back. And now everyone's thinking, they're going to make the Super Bowl now. It wasn't, maybe they won't make the playoffs. Now everyone's going, they're going to be the ones in the Super Bowl. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes. That, he came back. He's the savior, blah, 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 blah. Now, they have been playing. They played a team that didn't show up. And that was the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Las Vegas Raiders. The team didn't show up. So that's why Kansas City rolled. If the team showed up, then it would have been a lot closer game. I think Kansas City probably still would have won. Maybe not. If the Raiders actually played to their potential, they would have won. But they didn't. So we go to this game, which is it's such a hard game. It's like a coin toss. It's like you toss the coin and then see who's going to win. But I'm not much of a coin toss type of guy. The last time these two teams played was 4 years ago, November 4th. And the Dallas Cowboys beat them 28-17. So the way Patrick Mahomes plays, the way Dak Prescott plays, I think this is going to be just an amazing game to watch. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I just think that the Kansas City Chiefs at home, the way they play at home, and the way they played last week, and the way the Dallas Cowboys have been playing, I think it's one hell of a game. One hell of a game. So I'm going to give this one to the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Dallas Cowboys at home. They're going to beat the Cowboys in this game. Now we have a Sunday night lineup, Sunday night football. And it's the Pittsburgh Steelers going into Los Angeles and playing the 5-4 Chargers. Pittsburgh last week, a tie with the Detroit Lions. I'm sorry. It's the Detroit Lions, guys. Now, mind you, like I said time and time before, that you're in the NFL because you are talented, and just because your team hasn't won doesn't mean that the players suck. It's just everyone putting everything together, Maybe that players don't have as much talent as other teams. I don't know how they can't. They've been on the bottom, and they've been drafting nothing but, great talent. So what's going on with that? I don't understand. It has to be the coaching and just the whole thing with them. It blows my mind. I can't even understand. I don't understand it. I don't understand how an organization can be such a terrible losing organization. And boo on them, because the fans' hearts are always in those games for the Detroit Lions. Always. Man, you Detroit Lion fans, they're true blue. Great people, hardworking, middle class, car industry. It's sad. Anyway, so the Detroit Lions tied the Steelers, and Ben Roethlisberger's not coming back. So they're going into Los Angeles. I just don't see the Chargers losing this game. No, I don't see the Chargers losing this game. Chargers will beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Los Angeles. And Pittsburgh Steelers offense is 19th. The Chargers are 17th. The 7th ranked defense in the NFL is the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 13th ranked defense is the Los Angeles Chargers. The 22nd passing offense is the Steelers, and the 8th for the Chargers. 22nd rushing offense for the Chargers, and 26th for the Steelers. Now, the Steelers were like 31st in rushing. They've been getting better at that, but that's all they've been doing is just trying to pound the ball with Najee Harris. If you have him in fantasy football, just keep him. Don't trade him. I tried to trade him. I was just, I needed to shake things up. Anyway, fantasy football, I have literally 56 teams, guys. Wow. I have fun. I'm nuts. I love this place. I just love the place of the NFL, and being involved. That's what I love about the NFL. I mean, it's exciting. Especially, go to NFLshop.com, okay, and look out and just, it's the holiday season's around, and start buying early, because you don't ever know how late things are going to get before the holidays. But NFLshop.com, great stuff. I mean, I've got every single hat of every single team in the whole NFL, and I got jerseys with my name on them, and I love it. I love a great place to go and shop for. And they even have women stuff too. They do. And they got winter stuff and winter coats, and it's fun stuff. NFLshop.com. Check that out. So back to this game. Pittsburgh Steelers. Boy. I just don't see them winning this game. And the Chargers have been showing their youth. But I think they'll snap back, and I think the Chargers will win this game. And in Los Angeles on Sunday Night Football. Okay, we have the next game is the New York Giants going into Tampa Bay and playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's the New York Giants. It's the New York Football Giants. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are licking their wounds from their loss against, a terrible team. But I mean, it's not a terrible team. They lost fair and square. I mean, Washington isn't a terrible team. They're a good team. But the Tampa Bays are a better team. But last Sunday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were adequate, not that good. So we have, looking at everything on this one, we have the 23rd offense of the New York Football Giants and the 6th offense of the Bucs. Bucs defense is ranked 4th. The Giants 21st. Giants passing 21st. The Bucs 3rd, and then the rushing is 25th for the Giants and 27th for the Bucs. Now, I believe Barkley's going to be back on this game, and that might be a concern. But the defense of the Bucs are ranked 4th, but they're ranked number 1 against the run. So you're not going to run against the Bucs defense, nor are you going to run against the Ravens defense as well. So that's something to know, when you're picking games. I just don't see the New York. This is going to be my lock of the week. I tried it Monday night, this last Monday, and I was dead wrong. But I had won 9 straight up until then. And now I'm going to be on a new streak. In week 11, my lock is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat the New York Football Giants in Tampa. This is the lock. I mean, I just can't see really. I mean, I'm looking at this game. It didn't really look fully at the last week's game. That was boo on me. You know, I didn't look at everything, but everything on this game. I mean, the Bucs. The reason why the Bucs, I told everyone in the beginning of the season, before the season even started, I said the Bucs and the Bills will be in the Super Bowl. This is the reason why the Bucs are in one of the best divisions in football. They are in the best division in football, and they're 6-3. And the reason why they're 6-3 in the best division in football is because they're 6th offense, 4th defense, 3rd passing, 27th rushing. Now that's another thing right there. The rushing has to get better. If the rushing can get better, the Bucs will definitely be in the Super Bowl. If they can get rushing like the San Francisco 49ers, Nicky's Niners, definitely the Bucs will win the Super Bowl again. But we're talking Monday night. Tom loves the spotlight. New York Football Giants, they're going to try. It's going to be try hard, but it's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, my lock of the week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the New York Football Giants, and then the Chargers over the Steelers. We have the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Cowboys. We have all the other games. The Bengals beating up on the Raiders. The Arizona Cardinals beating the Seattle Seahawks. The Baltimore Ravens beating the Chicago Bears. The upset would be the Vikings over the Packers. The Titans over the Houston Texans. The Nicky's Niners or the 49ers over the Jags. The Browns over the Detroit Lions. Another upset, the Indianapolis Colts over the Bills. The Panthers over the Washington Football Team. The Miami Dolphins beating up on the Jets. The Saints over the Eagles. And last but not least was the first game of week 11. The New England Patriots beating the Falcons tonight for Thursday Night Football. Thank you so much for tuning in to Thursday Night Football. Don't forget to shop at NFLshop.com. Stay safe, get vaccinated, have a wonderful weekend, and enjoy tonight's game with the New England Patriots against the Atlanta Falcons. You have heard and listened to the Calvin Dean Show. Thank you so much.